I am going to do my little intro and we'll jump in and give you the floor. So anyway, thank you again for being here. I appreciate your time. It's great to see folks coming in and glad that you're here. And this is, as somebody said, I think it was Tina, that this is a very timely topic, repurposing. So you guys, if you know me, you know that like people say, oh my God, I see you everywhere. It's like, well, I'm not everywhere, but I repurpose my content so that it sometimes appears that I'm everywhere. So that's the real secret. And Hanny and I go way back, like I said, and he is the man when it comes to repurposing, so much so that he even created a software called Repurpose.io, which we'll talk about yesterday. But I saw Hanny on a webinar with one of our mutual friends a few weeks ago, and I said, I have to bring this to my folks in my community because they need to know this stuff. And they need to know how to repurpose their content and automate their content so that you're not constantly just on social all day, because that would be an enormous burden. So thank you so much for being here, Hanny. I'm so glad to have you. And I'll let you jump in and tell us what you're up to and talk to us about repurposing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me here, and thanks everyone for showing up. And a quick background about me: I'm Hanny Mora from Toronto, Canada, and it's still cold and wet, like we talked about earlier here, but we're approaching spring. And yeah, I've been making software for. I've been a content creator myself, making videos and blogs about videos. But in the past 7-8 years, we've been doing software for content creators. Actually, to be honest, I built it for myself first, and then it's like, hey, this is helping me. Let's see if we can help other people. So we've had several products, but Repurpose.io is our latest and kind of our flagship product. So before we get into the software demo, I want to just kind of make sure everyone gets something out of this, even if they don't want to use the software. So I'm going to talk about strategies for repurposing, something very visual. I'm going to share my screen, share like a little not a roadmap, but a mind map, I should say. If you're the type of person who's creating long form content, like interview styles, or just you talking on YouTube, talking head style videos, I'm going to talk about, I think, 33 different ways you can repurpose one single video. And if you're interested or you're kind of leaning towards a short form content, the TikTok style content, I'm also going to talk about around 33 different ways you can repurpose that content.
Gosh.
So I'm going to cover both angles, and we'll dive into a demo of how the software can help automate some of those steps for you.
Look, that's going to be great, because I know, yeah, excellent. And the other thing we talked about is it's funny because, like you say, well, you can repurpose either way, back and forth, from short videos to longer videos, or from short platforms to longer platforms. Or from longer platforms to shorter platforms. So you don't have to, you're not tied into one specific type of video.
Yeah, so the whole idea is whatever you're comfortable creating. If you're not even comfortable being on video, if you're creating audio content, audio podcaster, we can also repurpose your audio content as well into different formats. So there's so much to cover, and so many possibilities to repurpose. So you don't have to change how you create. You just create the way you're comfortable, and I'm going to give you ideas that you can take away and repurpose them. So before we start, I always like to start with this because it's very interesting. It used to confuse me in the beginning, but now I like to bring it up. The difference between repurposing and distribution. So repurposing, to me, my definition of repurposing is taking a content and changing the format of it into something else that then you publish that to a different platform.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking a video, you're turning it into an audio. You're taking a full video, turning it into a clip. So you're changing its format. So you're repurposing that content. And then distribution, well, distribution is kind of obvious. Is like putting that piece of content onto different platforms. So Repurpose.io does both for you. It gives you an opportunity to repurpose, change its format from short to long, long to short, audio to video, video to audio, etc., and gives you the ability to automate the scheduling or fully automate the publishing / distribution to all the platforms that you want.
Awesome.
All right. So let me share my screen because I gotta
Yeah, let me know if you
visual.
can't share it. But you should be able to.
Yeah, let me double check that.
There we
Share
go.
screen.
Wow, perfect.
All right. Cool. So I have two PDFs kind of that I want to show and walk through. So this first one is about repurposing long form video. So don't worry, I'm going to zoom in a bit as we go along. But you can take, I'm using YouTube as an example, but you can replace YouTube with a Zoom recording like we're doing right now. We're doing a Zoom recording. You can think of a Facebook Live or maybe a YouTube Live. It doesn't matter. Just I'm using YouTube as an example, but you can kind of replace that with any kind of platform that you're currently creating your video on or streaming your video on. So with a single video, what I recommend. Oh, sorry, that's not the one I wanted. PDF. There we go. Just find it easier to zoom in with a PDF.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yep, we see that.
So let me zoom right in here. So start with a YouTube video. You want to get that. If you have a Facebook page, get it on the Facebook page. I'm going to go really quick here because I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do want you to get ideas.
Yeah, this is neat.
Get the wheels rolling. So you get the full video, put it on the Facebook page because Facebook page allows longer videos. If you have a Facebook group, like a private group or members only group, put that video content in there because sometimes they won't catch it on YouTube, but they'll catch it in a group. And then one that a lot of people forget is is backing up your content. I like to say, hey, all this effort went to a video you put on YouTube. Sometimes it gets removed from your hard drive, but you can I highly recommend keeping a backup copy somewhere like in Dropbox or Google Drive, just in case, you never know. So I kind of put that as a repurposing way. And then you take that video and you pick as many as possible. I would say 3, maybe 5 if you can, 1-minute clips. 1 minute's the perfect number for all these platforms over here, like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, etc. If you can pick 1 minute of content that's funny or interesting, engaging, or a great tip or something from that content that can live alone as a 1-minute clip or less, then I recommend you grab 3 to 5 of those right from that YouTube video. And one tip here, if you're making videos, like you're presenting something, you can always structure your content, plan your content before. So say, I'm going to talk about 3 different ways to do this, and then kind of plan your content in a way to make your repurposing easier. So you take that video, I recommend going to a vertical. I don't know if you've seen these videos that are basically a horizontal video with turn into a vertical with some kind of text across the top and the captions burnt across the bottom so people can read along what you're saying. Then I recommend you do that. That way you can get people watching that content even without the sound on. So that vertical video, you want to get it onto IG Reels, IG feed, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts. Pinterest has a great video platform, which I didn't realize they did a lot of video, but they actually have something called a Pinterest idea pins. And of course, you can put that back on your Facebook page as well. So even if you have the full video on Facebook or YouTube, you can still share a clip of it. It's still a separate video. So people always miss that opportunity. So it's kind of 2-for-1 deal. Then I'm going to skip text for a second, and I am going to come back to it. So that's all the things you can do with a video. Then you can turn the video into an audio podcast. This is a huge opportunity for people to consume your content on the go. Take the whole video, maybe add a little intro and outro so it feels more like an episode, and get that on to a podcasting platform. I'm not going to get into technical details about that. You can kind of Google it. There's a lot of platforms out there, but think of it as like a YouTube where you just go in and you upload a video. Starting a podcast is signing up for a podcast host and literally uploading an audio. And that's as simple as that. And they take care of getting your audio podcast discovered on directories like Spotify, Apple. They do all that for you. So it's a really powerful way. So if you're ever intimidated about podcasting, it's not as intimidating anymore. The podcasting platforms out there do a great job of taking care of the work. All you got to do is upload an audio file, give it a title, and you're good to go. And then you have opportunities as well to take the audio version and turn it into what's called an audiogram. An audiogram is basically a video that you turn, an audio that you turn into a video. So there's usually some kind of moving waveform, some kind of headline on top, and some kind of either captions or text on the bottom. The reason why you want to do that is, even though it's the same content as the video, but you're sharing it in different ways. So when people scroll in the feed, they're going to see a different version of that content. So that's what repurposing is. It's the same content, but they're seeing it in different ways. And not everyone's going to see your content on. So people worry about, oh, I put my content everywhere. People are going to get annoyed. They see the same video in here and here. The algorithms don't work that way. Not everybody will see your video on Twitter and then see your video on LinkedIn. It just won't happen. So you want to hit them up on all the different platforms, and ideally on different days. That's what I do. I kind of schedule different videos on different days so that they don't get exposed to the same content all the time. But honestly, it barely happens where, unless someone's really following you and just going through every single platform, they're not going to see it on every platform. All right, so we talked about YouTube videos, long videos going to clips, long videos going to uploading the full videos onto platforms like Facebook and groups. Talked about turning to an audio podcast and then audiograms. Text is actually really powerful. I started doing this recently. So you can summarize, take the YouTube video, transcribe it. There's softwares out there that will transcribe it for you for pretty inexpensive, actually. And turn that into a blog post. And then one of my favorites to do is to take the video, take the transcript I just generated and just summarize it down to around 2,200 characters. 2,200 is from my experience, my own research, is that's compatible with all the different platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And basically that becomes a text post on those platforms. So you just paste that text in there. Facebook and LinkedIn, you can do text only. Instagram, you need a picture, so I usually just take a picture of myself, or if you want to, you can take a screenshot from your video, a frame from your video, and use that. But honestly, keep it simple. Just take a picture of yourself. It doesn't even have to be related to the video that you did. Like, just people see your face and they stop and then they read the content and they get value out of it. And then another thing you can do is pull out 1, 2, or 3 quotes from your video and just go into canva.com and just pick a template, paste it there, and there you have a graphic that you can post on all these platforms as well. So I said a lot, I covered a lot. It might be, I'm going to zoom out here if you want to take a screenshot of it. But the idea is you as a creator, you're creating one video. That's this main YouTube video. And you're spinning out, you're deriving, coming up with variations of that video in different formats, in clips, in text, in summary text, in audio format.
Did you mention, I'm sorry, did you mention what you're using to, let's say you do a YouTube video and you want to have a text version for blogs or quote graphics, use like Otter AI or rev.com?
Yeah. My favorite is right now is Otter AI. It's most inexpensive and the quality is great. And then you can export it into, it'll transcribe it for you, and you can export it into text format, like a paragraph format, and fix it up as needed. So that's my go-to right now. It's Otter.ai.
And again, you have to sort of meet people where they are. Some people prefer text, some people prefer short videos, some people prefer long videos, some people prefer audios. Podcasting is so huge. So the idea again is just you're creating one video and giving it life in many other places.
Yes, and then this allows you to post content every day to every platform. So that's just all from that one single video. So you do the video, you create the clips, and then you schedule out the content, and you're done for the whole week. A whole week's worth of content, posting every day. Now, if you're just starting, or you're looking at this, you're like, whoa, I can't do all this. My answer to that is you don't have to do all this right now. This is meant to give you kind of like just doing like a brain dump of all the different places you can do. I don't do every single one of these. There's a couple here I skip. I don't do the audiograms right now. Just start with, the highest, kind of the fastest thing you can do is just take the video and upload the full video to a few other platforms, like distribute them to Facebook, etc., and then make the clips. So if you're just starting, these two will give you basically, this is what I would recommend. Start with a video and create clips. And I'm going to demo how repurpose.io can help you do that very quickly.
Cool.
All right. Any questions before I move on to the other way where we talk about starting with short form content?
Yeah, this is great. Again, like I said, and I think you'll show us this, whether you're starting with short video or a long video and repurposing one way or the other, there's flexibility there. And for folks like me who like dragged kicking and screaming into TikTok, you can repurpose a regular YouTube video and format it and send it to TikTok or Instagram Reels on one of the so-called vertical formats. So
yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can do that for sure. There's no reason you see clips on TikTok and they came from another video. That's totally fine. All right. Okay, so I'm not going to dive into this. There's another version of this document that's basically the same idea. It's where you start with a 60-second TikTok video. And because it's already short form, you take that onto YouTube, Facebook. You can do all the platforms we talked about. And then you can do the same idea. You can take a TikTok video, put it into a blog post, summarize it down into text posts. So I'm not going to dive into it. It's very similar, but I wanted to show you that even if you do have short form content, you can turn them into audio. Maybe a podcast may not be, a 60-second podcast may not be a great thing, but there's something called an Alexa skill. That's an interesting thing that you can look into. Again, don't get overwhelmed by the details. Just wanted you to kind of give you a visual to say, oh, okay, get the wheels turning. It's worth investing creating content because you're going to give it way more life by distributing it onto these different platforms and then turn them into different formats like text and audio as well.
Cool.
All right. So that's kind of the high level. If you want to screenshot this or the other, it's totally fine. I can leave them off for a second, but I can answer anybody has got any high level questions before we dive into how to automate a lot of this, because honestly, it's hard to do.
Yes, Dan wanted to know the name of the transcript application, and there were a few. The one you mentioned was otter.ai, OTTER.ai.
Yes, that's my favorite right now. It's very cost effective.
Others, I use Descript.
Oh, Descript is good. I haven't used that yet. I hear a lot about that. That's a good one.
So that if you want to transcribe a video to text, you can use rev.com, rev.com, Otter, OTTER.ai. I use Descript because I produce some podcasts for folks, and Descript has a little function called Studio Sound, and it makes everybody sound like a really groovy radio voice. Oh, wow. It just really enhances the audio and sounds so good. So, awesome. So that answers that question. Any other questions, feel free to put in the chat before we move on to talking about automation. And again, I do want to emphasize, like, you see this and you're like, oh my God, I can't do all these videos. You're only doing the one video, and the software is repurposing it to all the other platforms. And like Hanny said, I mean, for me, I know I want to give my audiences as many opportunities to find my stuff as possible. So I want to meet them wherever they are. Maybe they're on TikTok, maybe they're on Instagram, maybe they're on Facebook. And this way you're covering all your bases and having a ton of content in many different places. I did have one other question somebody asked online, and you mentioned ideally promoting on different days. Is there a specific day of the week or time that's better to post videos than others?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not at that stage where it's just too much work for me to think about and analyze. I'm like, you know what? Let's just be consistent.
Get it out there.
And get it out there first and then optimize later. That's always my philosophy, is get it out first, get in the habit of making that video each week, creating the clips for that video, and then get it out My only suggestion is if you can avoid it, again, if it's too hard, don't worry about it in the first couple of weeks. But I try to, let's say I do clip number 1 on Twitter. I try to not put the same clip on all the platforms on the same day.
Yeah.
I used to do that. It didn't make a difference. I started optimizing and spreading it out. My point is, don't get caught up in those details yet. If you're just starting, honestly, focus on this. Get the YouTube video done. That's number 1. The content is the most important thing. And then look at orange and yellow. Like, how do we get this, like, get that content on as many different platforms in its original format, Facebook, maybe a group, and then work on making clips. Try to go for 5 if you can. Probably sometimes I've had between 3 and 8 for the 10-minute, 15-minute videos that I've done. So aim for minimum 3, try to go for 5, and then get those little clips onto different platforms and see what's connecting, what's working.
The other part of that question is, does repurpose.com allow you to schedule the content to come out on a certain day? So like, I want to say, I do my YouTube video on Monday, I'm going to send it to LinkedIn on Tuesday and to Facebook on Wednesday.
Yes, yeah, we do. Absolutely. We have a scheduler built in, so you can say, I want this full video to go out to Facebook on this day. I want this clip A to go out to Twitter on that day, and you can schedule it as you like. And we're actually working on improving that scheduler so that you can have kind of like predefined slots. So you can say, just add it to my queue and it'll automatically go on certain days if you want to. But right now it's just basically you can set the date and time for each video, whether it's a clip and whether it's the full video itself. Yeah, it's a great question. And we also have a feature where it auto publishes as well, so that if you want it, as soon as you upload a video to YouTube, within the hour, it can go automatically to Facebook without you having to come in and even schedule it.
Oh my God, that's so much.
We'll talk about that in the software, because there's some things you want to automate like that, and there's some things that you want to schedule on specific dates. So
perfect.
It's flexible. Software's flexible on how you want to use it.
So confession for me, right now I'm doing just the orange. I'm doing YouTube to Facebook group, and well, maybe LinkedIn too, but there's so much more to, so many more opportunities there. So
yes, yeah, there's so much to do. So much opportunity there with that one single video. And I mean, I used to start off with like 1 video a week, and sometimes like I find myself, I have more content that I have enough time in the week to schedule. So I keep like an archive in my Google Drive of like clips that I haven't used yet. And then when I go on vacation or take time, well, I haven't gone anywhere in a while, but if you take time off, you need a week off, it's the holidays, then you can dig in from that Google Drive folder and say, oh, I got a bunch of clips here. Let me use these, because this week I'm not making new content. So by having all these extra content and dumping all the clips into a Google Drive, you can use those whenever you have some downtime, or you get busy, or you're off to a conference for a week and you haven't made new content. You can grab older content and stuff that you haven't posted yet.
Cool.
All right. So if there's any more questions, I'm going to minimize these. And
yeah, let's take a look at the software.
Jump into the software and talk about, I show a couple of different examples on how you can do it. I have so many tabs open that I don't know where the software is. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is my test account on our site. Let me just delete this and start over again. All right. So the idea of Repurpose is that it's, if you're familiar with Zapier, have used Zapier before, even if you haven't, it doesn't matter, but it's the idea of what we call workflows. So a workflow, you say what your source is, like what content you want to repurpose, what your action is, how you want to repurpose it, audio to video, video to audio, clips, full episode, etc. And then the last question is, where do you want that the final product to go? So an example would be YouTube. I want to create clips. I want to send them to Instagram. So that would be an example of a workflow. So before you create any workflows, you need to connect all your social media accounts. So I've done a bunch of connections already, just to save some time. So I've hooked up a podcast feed, I've hooked up my Dropbox, Facebook, Google Drive. Let me just give you I'm not going to do it, I'm going to show you a visual. This is what you can do all the different connections you can do with our platform. And some of them are source, which means you can repurpose from them. Some of them are destinations, which means you can publish to them. And some of them are both. So you can repurpose from YouTube to somewhere else as a clip or the full video, or you can go vice versa. You can go from TikTok or any platform that's a source to YouTube. So some of them can be used as both. All right. So what you got to do is just pick the connection. It's going to pop up, ask you to log in. So we don't ask for passwords, all secure connections. We're all authorized. We have to get approval from all of these different companies before we can integrate their software into Repurpose, like Zoom and LinkedIn, Twitter. So you click in, you log in with your Zoom credentials through their app, and it brings you back to Repurpose. So just like any social media app. And once you have your connections,
you just do that at the beginning, and then it's one and done, and you're all set. Right?
Yes, yeah. Some of them do expire. That's a security thing, like Facebook after 6 months or so. Or if you change your password, some things will happen. Then you can just go in and say reconnect or reauthorize, and then you're good to go. But yeah, typically it's a one-time connection, and you kind of. So if you're feeling, again, don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like you have to add every single connection. Pick one workflow. Like if you're doing YouTube content and you want to see what it looks like when I post that to Instagram, then just connect your YouTube and connect your Instagram. And start with that. You can always add more connections later. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that. And then, all right, so what do we want to see first? You want to take a YouTube video, maybe?
Yeah, let's take a YouTube video and for simplicity's sake, send it to Facebook and or LinkedIn.
Okay, let's do that. So let's give you a little video here you can watch. First-time users, if you're not sure how it works, but the idea is simple. We're going to create a brand new workflow. We're going to give it a name. Let's say it's YouTube let's do Instagram.
Okay.
YouTube to Instagram. This is just a name, and it's really important that you call these names that make sense to you, because you're going to have a bunch of workflows, and after a while you're going to get confused what's doing what. So it's better to kind of name these clearly from the beginning. All right, so the first question, Cassie, what's your source? My source is YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
If you have multiple YouTube accounts, you'll see them all here. I've only connected one, so it just shows my YouTube. And if you wanted to, you can click a playlist and only repurpose from a specific playlist. But just for the purpose of the demo, I'm just going to take all my videos from my YouTube account. Then second step is action. What am I doing? Am I going to upload the video? Say, yeah, I'm uploading a video. So I'm going from YouTube to Instagram, so it has to be video. If I was turning my YouTube video into a podcast, I can change the option to convert video to audio. But since I'm going to Instagram, I want to keep it as video. And here I can choose full video or clips. So usually my videos are longer than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and just change that to clips. So I'm going to show you how you can make little clips right inside Repurpose. And I'm going to choose Instagram as my output. I have a bunch of Instagram channels. Let's post on my personal. It's okay. I can always delete it. It's all good. All right. So that's workflow creation. So nothing has happened yet in terms of publishing. Right? We haven't published anything. All we're doing is setting up the connection between setting up the rule, the workflow, the recipe, whatever you want to call it. Between one platform and another. So there we have it, YouTube to Instagram. It takes a couple seconds for it to fetch all your YouTube videos, but as soon as I hit the view content page, I will see all my YouTube videos. Let's ignore this for a second. I'll explain this in a quick second. So it takes a couple seconds to build a whole library. If I refresh, it should give me the rest of them. Yeah, okay, maybe that's all I have. Okay, that is all I have. Okay, this is my test YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I told you I'm going to make clips. So let me show you how the clip process works. So I'm going to pick this video here. This one's about 10 minutes long. So I'm going to say create clips. I'm going to just mute this audio because it might stop playing. Okay. The clip editor comes out. I can go and drag the slider here, pick start time, end time, and then just watch the video here. So I know exactly what it looks like. And just for the purpose of this demo, I would just pick this. Actually, I got to keep it under a minute because Instagram feed only allows under a minute.
Yeah, all you really need to know is what are the limits of the platform you're going to. So for Instagram, it's a minute. So you just have to make sure that the video.
Yeah, we're gonna work on making that more controlled in the software. But there's a PDF you can. If you click on this, the cheat sheet, it gives you a list of all the different limits per platform.
Great. Okay.
Here, in case you forget. But yeah. So let's keep it under a minute, or you can always just type in 1 minute here. So, all right, so I can make one clip here, how to repurpose your content automatically. So you want to give it like a nice title because this is the title that's going to be used in your video. Because not only are we going to take this video and send it to Instagram as it is, we're going to turn it into a square video with a headline and captions burnt in automatically. I'll show you how that works. So give it a title, and if I want, I can make a bunch of snippets. It's not just one. I can
Oh, you don't have to do it separately. You can do a bunch of.
Yeah, I can do part 2. You wouldn't do that. You give it a nicer title than I would, and then you can kind of make as many clips as you want from that video. And then when you're done, just shut the window down, and then you will see all your clips here. Boom, boom, boom. Start time, end time. So if you have someone on your team that can go and do this for you, that's even better, right? They can go in and pick the clips for you, and then you can come in and review and edit or delete the ones you want or don't want. But that's it. I'm going to just publish one of these clips. So we haven't published anything. The clips are ready. But before I do that, I'm going to just quickly show you a couple of settings that I'm going to tweak. So I'm going to go into the settings page. I can publish the video as it is, meaning like just take the horizontal video, publish it as it is. All right. We have custom templates that we can use, which I don't want to get into right now. There's a whole video on it, but you can design your own template. I'm going to do the kind of the fastest and the fastest thing is I'm going to go and choose kind of our predefined templates. These are, we call them legacy templates. They're the simplest. You just pick, I want square because square works on Instagram. You can set the headline color to whatever color you want. I'm going to turn on the option to burn in the captions.
Cool.
And I can change the progress bar color to somewhere, something like this, let's say. And then I can even change the background color if I wanted to. And that's not, I'm not a good designer, obviously. That's not. Okay, let's do that. And then the captions, I want them white. So you can use this simple, I recommend starting with this. And then, well, we do have like a Canva style editor. You can go into your templates and design a Canva style editor and make it really, really fancy. But I don't want to spend too much time on that in this demo. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to say, just pick our default, set some colors, and that's it. So it's going to take the horizontal video and turn it into a vertical video.
Cool.
Sorry, a square video for us, and burn the captions automatically for you. So when I hit save, I can go ahead and hit publish. And I can change the headline if I want to. This is the Instagram caption, like the text that goes below. I can choose that. I can choose a thumbnail for Instagram, or I can schedule it, or I can just hit publish now. So I can just hit publish now. And it enters the queue, and then in a few seconds, it's going to start processing. And then it'll be on it, and then it'll be on Instagram. You can click a button here and go view your post. And that's that I'm going and publish the next clip and the next clip, or schedule the next clip and schedule the next clip. So that's like the simplest workflow you can do to repurpose from YouTube, create a bunch of clips, and publish them or schedule them everywhere. And notice we didn't have to upload any videos.
Yeah.
We didn't have to download any videos. We didn't have to use any other tools to actually schedule the content or publish the content. It's all within Repurpose. And that's by design. We've designed it so that you don't have to upload anything. You don't have to change anything. You take any content, like any video. This video is from 2017. Like anything on your YouTube channel now, you can go in, make several clips, and publish them to as many platforms as you want.
Yeah, cool. So you've taken an existing video, even if it's from 6 months ago or whatever, and made it into clips to sort of give it new life to put on Instagram. You could do the same thing with Facebook, LinkedIn, etc.
Exactly. So we just have one workflow, YouTube to Instagram. I can go ahead and make another one, YouTube to Twitter, YouTube to LinkedIn. So wherever you want to go, you would make a workflow for that. And you can schedule the content, have a different template, design things differently. Like every workflow can be configured and set up the way you want it. There's so many advanced features as well. I don't want to get into it too much, but you can have a bumper video added automatically to your video clips or an outro video. Let's say you want to have a call to action. Hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can have a little video that you've made already, upload it to this workflow, and we'll add it to every single video or clip that we post to YouTube, for example.
Cool. So the thing that like really blew my mind when I was watching the demo of this, and I don't know if it's a fairly new feature, but you know, I said, oh my God, I don't want to do TikTok because it's vertical, it's a whole new format, it's just going to require all new videos. But now you can take your YouTube traditional format widescreen and repurpose them to TikTok, correct?
Yes, you can do it from YouTube to TikTok and vice versa as well. So if you're already on TikTok, then you can go to your other platforms. Go to YouTube, to Twitter.
Yeah. So are you able to show us how you do like because I know there's the templates too, how you do, all right, I have YouTube videos. I have a 2-minute YouTube video. I want to send it as a 1 minute or 30-second clip to TikTok.
Yeah, so let's do a workflow of YouTube to TikTok. So start with YouTube. Upload the video. I'm going to make clips again because TikTok is under a minute. Oh, I think they've expanded their limits, but
yeah,
with software, I think they still force us to limit it to 1 minute.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, we'll do a clip and we'll send it to TikTok.
Cool.
And it's done.
And you know, while you're doing this, I want to mention that I was the poster child for not wanting to do TikTok. And then when I realized they have 1 billion views, 1 billion users, 1 billion with a B, I'm like, okay, I can't ignore TikTok anymore.
Yeah, you can't.
And it doesn't have to be karaoke, crazy singing videos. Hanny does tips videos and quick little snippets on TikTok. So whatever content you have, you can repurpose. You don't have to reinvent the wheel again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. You gotta experiment. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, but by publishing consistently, you start getting more traction.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I have a template. No, I don't have a template. Well, I kind of have a template. It's not pretty. This is like my test account.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let me show you how the template works. I think it's important to see this really quick. I'm gonna design a brand new template.
Yeah.
Because some people are, when you do it, some people are going to be like, oh, I don't like the basic design. I want to design my own. I want to show you that we have that built in. So I'm going to make a vertical template that's for TikTok or whatever. I'm just calling it TikTok.
So we're taking a traditional YouTube video and switching it to a vertical TikTok format.
Yes. So this template lets me really customize the font that I want to use for the headline. That's not a nice font. Let's do this one here. You can add captions to it. So this is when you design a template, you do it one time.
Yeah.
And then every video will have. That's not a good caption spot. I tell you, I get caught up in these details, but You can customize the progress bar color, how thick you want it. Like this is, if you really want, move the video up here and have the headline right here. You have really full flexibility. You can add graphics, images. You can even design it on Canva.
Wow.
And import it right into here as well. So you can design background images on Canva and pull them in to your repurpose template. So I'm just going to do this just for the sake of time, but you can get fancier with it if you want to. So now I have a template. Now if I go back to my workflow and go to view content settings, I can choose my template, my TikTok template right here. All right, so I'm going to say, okay, just take my YouTube video, turn it into a vertical like this. And so let's just pick, I'm just going to pick this clip that's already made. Well, actually, let me make a new clip here. All right, so let's just do that. So when you hit publish, the nice thing about the new template feature, this is a relatively new feature. It's going to be coming out of beta soon. It's been around for about 6 months or so, but it's really nice because you can visualize the content here.
Oh, wow.
You can actually see it before you publish. Like, I don't know if you noticed previously you couldn't see the preview with the legacy templates. Now, if you really want to tweak things around, want to make this video smaller, like you really can really design and even edit. Like if I don't want this to be, I want to whatever, you know what I mean, your content, you can go to town with that.
Cool. So you have an existing YouTube video and it's now ready to go to TikTok in their format.
Exactly. So we say we do that and then we hit publish now.
That's so cool.
So yeah, so the one thing about TikTok, it's only for TikTok, and because this new integration is new, it's actually a new feature within TikTok. We're probably one of the few that are using it, to be honest with you. I see the pros and I see the cons of this method, but when they publish to TikTok, you still need to finalize the publishing on your phone. What that means is we make this video vertical, we'll send it to your TikTok, you'll get a notification on your phone from the TikTok app, then you can go in, add your music. If you're using TikTok, you know what I mean. You have to add the audios, add some stickers and stuff. So that's a limitation on TikTok side. They told me, the development team told me that they are thinking of removing that, like giving an option to go directly to TikTok. But right now, you need to kind of finalize it, put your description, caption, hashtags, etc., and hit publish. But the beauty is, you can have you or someone on your team publish all these to your TikTok, and they'll all be ready. And then you can go in and just publish one by one. Just go in, put the title, hashtag, and publish it when you need to.
And it's still a hell of a lot less work than doing another.
Yeah, so the video is done. It's already uploaded. You just need to go and give it a title and add the music if you want, and hit the publish button on your app. But the other platforms, not like that. Twitter goes to Twitter as a real video. Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere it goes as a native video to your LinkedIn feed, your Facebook, your YouTube, completely hands-free.
Awesome. So this is basically, the how to be everywhere without doing a ton of extra work.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to show is what I like to do, because I'm not sure if a lot of people here are using TikTok as their primary source or not, but I still want to cover it quickly. So you can take your TikTok channel right now. If you have a TikTok channel, you can take that and go to, say, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all kind of the same way. You can make a repurposed workflow called TikTok to, let's say, Twitter. My TikTok video. Because TikTok's short, it's under a minute. Perfect. I can just use the full video, so there's no clips required, and send that, let's say, to my Twitter account. So it's going to load. It's basically building a library of all my TikToks. I have, I don't know, 30, 40 of them. And there's all my TikToks here. I can hit publish on the one that I want. because it's TikTok, it's already vertical,
Mm-hmm.
and Twitter supports vertical. I don't have to change it. Like,
Oh, that's awesome.
just use the default setting of original video and just hit publish button. And there I have my TikToks go to Twitter. But what I like to do is use this magic button.
Mm.
So every workflow can be manual, which is by default, which means go in, pick the content you want,
Mm-hmm.
and hit publish. I don't know why that one had an error, but we'll check that out in a second. And then auto means every time you publish a video to TikTok, automatically take it and send it to Twitter.
Wow.
Which is what I use when I do my TikToks. I have 5 workflows: TikTok to Twitter, TikTok to LinkedIn, TikTok to YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok to, what did I miss? Facebook.
Wow.
They're all on auto.
Mm-hmm.
And so literally I just got to focus on making my video for TikTok, uploading it to TikTok, and then within an hour or so, it gets automatically posted to Twitter. Like, all these will kick in and do your magic. So you can do that for the entire library.
Wow.
Or you can, when you turn the auto button, it's going to ask you, do you want to auto publish everything or only after a specific date?
Right.
So let's say, for example, starting tomorrow, only auto publish starting tomorrow. I don't really care. I've already published these to my platforms. I want starting tomorrow to go automatically to Twitter. So it'll only start publishing tomorrow's video and onwards. So every workflow can be manual or auto, depending on what you're trying to achieve. So if you're doing clips, keep them in manual because you have to create those clips.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing like short form content that's like TikTok, and you just want it to go automatically, or a YouTube video, you just want to do your Facebook page, leave that in auto. Let that just do its magic.
Man, that is the definition of working smarter and not harder. Automate, automate. So cool. So someone asked, how much is Repurpose and how do folks get it?
Yeah, so our plans are, well, it's a free trial. And the plans are around, like, I think it's $25 a month to do everything you've seen here for up to 5 accounts of each type. So if you have multiple YouTube accounts, multiple
Mm-hmm.
TikTok accounts, multiple Twitters, you can go up to 5 Twitters, 5 TikToks, 5 YouTube. So it's a bargain. And then there's a special offer. We have a special discount through Lou's program.
Ooh.
So what do we, I don't have that link on top of my head. Do you have that link handy?
I put the Bortone.com/repurpose should
yeah, so it's a 20% discount on top of that. So it's honestly, it's less than $1 a day to have like an assistant, kind of machine assistant, helping you automate and giving you a dashboard to manage your social media content.
Exactly.
Nothing
So
changes.
I can pay my VA $65 an hour to do this, or I can do it.
Exactly. And you're paying 25 minus the discount.
Yeah.
I can't do math right now. I'm on the spot. So, so yeah, it's less than $1 a day.
Such a great deal.
Sure.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And again,
I didn't cover it here, but you can also, if you have an audio podcast, you can take audios, turn them into videos.
That's really cool too, because everybody's like, like a lot of pressure to do podcasts these days. Can you do video to? Well, yeah, you can do video to audio.
Yes, you can do video to audio. So we have, actually, it's a great question, because we have integrated a couple of podcasting platforms. Libsyn is one of them.
Yep.
Captivate is another one. SoundCloud, I don't call it a podcasting platform, even though it is technically, but I don't personally recommend it. If you're starting a podcast, I would go with Libsyn or Captivate. And so with that integration, you can go ahead and automatically take a YouTube video, strip the audio out of it. Yep. Add an intro and outro automatically, and send that to your Captivate or Libsyn account. And once it's there, then automatically Spotify, Apple will get notified. Wow. And the episode's live on people's phones. So we have a lot of users who do this, to take their YouTube content, they do an interview on YouTube, boom, podcast episode. I didn't mention it, but Zoom as well. Oh yeah. If you're recording Zoom in the cloud, when you're done, you can have it turn into an audio and sent to your podcast automatically if you wanted to. Or you can repurpose clips from your Zoom. Anything I showed you with YouTube, you can do with Zoom as well. So you can repurpose Zooms, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you're doing Facebook Lives, you can repurpose those exactly the same way. Make the clips or publish the full episode.
That's cool.
And coming soon, it's kind of hinted here, this is our test site, is the Instagram. So right now you can publish to Instagram, but starting next week, I think next week, we're launching it so you can repurpose from Instagram.
Oh, that's
so if you're doing Instagram Lives or Instagram is your main platform, you're publishing to IGTV or Instagram feed, you can make a workflow to repurpose from Instagram to other platforms automatically using repurpose.
And then, so you could go to Instagram Reels as well, because that's their.
Yeah, no. The answer is no. Unfortunately, they don't have that. Facebook doesn't allow any software companies to do that automatically, and not yet, at least. And we're hoping that one day that will change. But right now, you can go from Instagram or IGTV or Instagram Live. And when you go live on Instagram, it gets shared to your IGTV.
Yeah. Perfect.
You can repurpose that, but not Reels, at least not yet. We're trying to find a way around that, but
but that's still, I mean, you really can be. I mean, even just the Zoom interviews that I do. If I took something from Zoom and then I repurposed it back to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, I mean, it's like massive visibility and presence without having to do a ton of extra work.
Yes, and then if you have a video file, I didn't mention this either. If you have a video, let's say you have a hard drive full of videos that you've done or recordings, you can upload them to a Google Drive, or a Dropbox, and then have a workflow that says, "Hey, take a video from my Dropbox folder, this folder here, and publish it to YouTube, publish it to Twitter, publish it to etc. Do everything I showed you, full episode or clips, from any file in the Google Drive or Dropbox folder." As well. So that's an option if some people have an archive of videos sitting on their computer. It's a great way to get them onto YouTube very quick. Imagine dumping 100 videos onto Google Drive and say, all right, go. Just
that's unbelievable. And a lot of it's just to set it and forget it because you're setting up the workflow once.
Yes, so you set the workflow once and you can schedule content.
Linda asked if you have a help section or good support. I will say this because this is ironic. Yesterday I was on a webinar with Nika Stewart, one of our mutual friends, about TikTok, and somebody during that webinar mentioned and commented like, "Oh my God, I love Repurpose. Their support is so awesome and so quick." So
nice, awesome. So that's a great question. We have a live support here, and then we also have a help desk that's here as well. You can search our help desk. So.
And the videos that are on the pages, like when I was setting mine up, I'm like, okay, there's a video. It's really clear how to set up the connection, and the videos walk you through exactly how to do each step. So that's really helpful as well.
Yes, and then we have like an onboarding sequence that if you get stuck, like it's gonna, like you'll have an opportunity to speak with somebody as well. Like if you're really, really stuck and you're not making progress and you need help, we have an opportunity to meet with a product manager on a Zoom call, one-on-one. There's no charge. It'll just to help you get set up and get going as well if you need that. And we don't advertise that. It's kind of only to those who are really stuck, but the option, just keep that in mind. The option is there. Like we have.
Well, this is definitely the secret sauce and a great way to get a ton of visibility. We'll make a recording. We'll make this recording available for anybody who may have missed it. And any other questions in the chat before we move on? Hanny, thank you so much for sharing this with us because this really is a secret weapon.
Actually, one thing, let me just show you what the video looked like on Instagram because we never really.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Like we published it and we kind of forgot about it. So let me share my screen again. Share screen. Okay, so if we go back to here, so this is the clip that we published to Instagram. When you're done, it will give you an icon. When you click it, it will take you right to the Instagram post, and this is what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
So this is the template that I did
Yeah.
That was like our pre-canned template where I just set the colors.
Yeah, you kind of just did it on the fly.
There's a click, boom, boom, and like we didn't even spend more than 10 seconds on it, and the video looks pretty slick. Captions are automatically there.
Yeah.
The title was already there, and
It's
yeah,
magic.
someone already watched it, which is not good because
Oh wow.
is...
Magic.
I'm just gonna delete that video if
Mm-hmm.
I can. I don't want the wrong. But yeah, so that's the idea, is that it's fast.
Yeah.
It may look like it's technical, but just setting it up,
Mm-hmm.
once you kind of set up the workflows that you want, and I recommend just start with one. Just pick one. If you're YouTube, go YouTube to Instagram, for example. Try it out, publish there, and then add the second one, add the third one, add the fourth.
Yep, and it's automated. It's like set it. A lot of it's set it and forget it. So that's really cool. I don't see any other questions in the chat. I think. Let me see if there's anything else before we wrap up. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. Otherwise, everything's pretty straightforward. Create one video, put it in a gazillion places, a number of platforms. And again, I like to say, from a video marketing standpoint, you don't have to create a gazillion pieces of content. You really have to just basically create one piece of content and repurpose it and get it out into other platforms, because you want to be seen wherever your viewers or listeners may be. Brenda asks how long the discount's available. That's like a forever thing, right?
Yeah, the discount's forever. I'm not gonna. It's not.
So yeah, so
just like the offer's there. It's actually that when you sign up to that link, it's a free trial. So you're not buying anything right now. You just sign up. You can publish 10 videos for free. Experience it yourself, and then if you decide to upgrade to a plan, the discount code is already tied up to that link.
cool.
So you don't have to enter any codes or anything.
Yep, perfect. So you want to know no promo codes, just go to the loubortone.com/repurpose is the link that I made. And you will be on your way.
Yeah, and there's a question about Brenda's asked about Captivate and what. I just posted captivate.fm and libsyn.com. Those two are kind of my personal recommendations for podcasting platforms, because they're reliable and they're good and they're easy to use, but also because they integrate with Repurpose as well. So if you want to publish directly from YouTube as an audio to be a podcast, pick one of these two platforms.
That's really cool. Well, I'm going to use this for some video interviews that I did recently and for many, many other things, because I have a ton of content that I can give new life to. So I highly recommend you check this out, the free trial, loubortone.com/repurpose. And Hanny, thank you so much for being with us today. We'll get this replay up as soon as we can, and I really appreciate your help and support.
My pleasure. Dina's asking what platforms. Can I repeat the platforms? Yeah, for sure. The podcasting ones are captivate.fm and libsyn.com.
Yeah. Very good. Thanks so much. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.